With life expectancy increasing and inflation impacting the cost of living, many people wonder about the exact amount that they'll need to retire comfortably. Is the classic rule to save 10 to 15% of your income still accurate? Well, in this video, that's what we're going to dive into. We're going to break down the key factors that impact your retirement savings needs, from rising healthcare costs to lifestyle choices, and even how economic changes might alter the amount you'll need as retirement approaches. So by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer picture of what enough really looks like for a financially secure retirement. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is Greg Hardy, and here we talk about everyday personal finance tips and strategies to help you work towards financial freedom. So now imagine this. You're sitting on a beach, the waves are crashing, a warm breeze is blowing, and you're finally retired. No boss to answer to, no alarm clock, just you, the sun, and all the time in the world. Sounds perfect, right? But then a thought creeps in. How much do I really have saved? Will this money actually last me the rest of my life? And suddenly, the relaxing sounds of those waves, not so relaxing anymore. That's the big question so many people have. How much should I actually be saving? We've all heard that 10 to 15% of our income is the standard answer, but is that really enough? With people living longer, medical costs going up, and inflation changing the price of everything from groceries to gas, it's really hard to know if that number still holds up. In fact, it's a question that both financial experts and everyday people alike are asking. So let's break it down. First, let's think about how long we're actually going to live. Decades ago, retirement might have meant 10 or 15 years. Now it's not unusual for someone to spend 30 years in retirement. I mean, that's a long time to make your money last. And with medical advances, who knows? We could be talking about 40 years one day. It's exciting, but it's also a bit intimidating, isn't it? Then there's the inflation piece. Think about how much a cup of coffee cost when you were a kid. Now compare it to what you pay today. That's inflation for you. A dollar just doesn't go as far over time, and that affects everything we buy. This means that if you're not planning for inflation, your savings might fall short. Let's throw in one more factor: lifestyle. Some people are happy living a simple life, staying home, spending time with family. Others dream of traveling the world, taking up new hobbies, and maybe even moving to a new city. These choices might make a huge difference in how much you're going to need. A retirement of backyard barbecues isn't going to cost as much as retirement of European vacations. Now, knowing all this, let's go back to that original question. Is 10 to 15% of your income enough? The truth is, it's different for everyone. For some, it might be perfect. For others, not even close. And that's why it's so important to have a plan. Start by thinking about the kind of life you want to live in retirement. Consider how long you might need those savings to last, and factor in that inflation piece. Guys, if you're finding value in this video and are into growing your wealth and making smarter financial decisions, I ask that you hit that like button and also subscribe to this channel. It really helps this channel to grow, and it will also get this information out to more people. Thank you. Imagine living to 90 or even 100. Sounds amazing, right? All those extra years to do the things you love, spend time with family, and enjoy life at a slower pace. But there's one thing we have to think about with a longer life: money. When you live longer, you're going to need more savings to cover all those years, especially since you won't have a paycheck coming in anymore. It's exciting to think about living a long, full life, but it also means planning ahead financially so that your savings don't run out. Retirement planning used to be simpler because people generally didn't live as long. Saving for 10 or 15 years after retirement was much more manageable, but now retirement could easily last 20, 30, or even 40 years. It's a big shift. If your savings don't account for those extra years, there's a real risk of outliving your money. And as we age, healthcare and other costs often increase, which can eat away at those savings faster than we expect. So what does this mean for your retirement planning? It means thinking about the big picture and planning for a longer timeline. Saving a little more now can make a huge difference later. Even adjusting your contributions by a few percent could add up over time, especially if you're starting early. Plus, investing in ways that let your money grow can also help build that longer lasting cushion. Ultimately, the goal is to give yourself peace of mind. You want to know that no matter how long you live, you're covered. Planning for a longer retirement might seem challenging, but it's all about small steps that build up over time. This way, you can look forward to those extra years without the stress of wondering if your money will last. What you pay for a cup of coffee today could be double by the time you're retired. And it's not just coffee. That same increase can happen with groceries, rent, healthcare, and just about everything else. This is the hidden cost of inflation. It quietly raises prices over time, so what seems like enough savings today might not stretch as far down the road. Inflation means that your money loses some of its buying power each year, and that's a big deal when it comes to retirement planning. Inflation might seem small in the short term, like a few cents more for milk or a couple dollars extra on a bill, but over decades, these increases really add up. Let's say you're planning for a 20 or even 30-year retirement. In that time, even a low inflation rate can double the cost of many everyday expenses. So if you're saving based on today's prices, it's easy to end up short, especially as the costs keep rising while you're no longer working. So what can you do to protect your savings? One important step is to factor inflation into your retirement planning. Aim to save more than you think you'll need so that your money can cover those future costs. Another strategy is to invest your savings in ways that outpace inflation, like certain stocks or other growth investments. This can help your money keep up with rising prices, so you're not losing purchasing power over time. Planning with inflation in mind might sound like a challenge, like you're trying to hit a moving target, but it's really about preparing for the future. By saving a little extra now, you're making sure your retirement fund will be enough even as prices go up. That way, you can focus on enjoying retirement rather than worrying about whether your money will cover everything that you need. Imagine reaching retirement and suddenly needing an expensive treatment or care that insurance only partially covers. For many, this can become a financial surprise, with medical bills adding up quickly. Now, healthcare is one of those costs that's often hard to predict, but it's also something that almost everyone faces at some point in retirement. As we age, our healthcare needs often increase, and with that comes an increase in expenses. That's why healthcare should be a priority when planning for retirement. Healthcare costs have been rising steadily, and there's no sign of them slowing down. It's not just about the routine doctor visits. It could be hospital stays, surgeries, medications, or even long-term care. And while Medicare or other insurance may cover some of these costs, they rarely cover everything. This gap means that without a solid plan, you could end up spending a lot of your retirement savings on healthcare alone, leaving less for other essentials or for enjoying life. So how can you prepare? One good step is to save with healthcare costs in mind. Setting aside a portion of your retirement savings specifically for medical expenses can help. Some people use health savings accounts, or HSAs, which allows you to save tax-free for qualified medical expenses, which will give you an extra cushion for later on. And if an HSA isn't an option, simply knowing you'll need more than you think you will for healthcare can help you aim a little higher in your savings goals. Planning for healthcare may not be the most exciting part of retirement, but it's one of the most important. By factoring in these potential costs, you're protecting yourself from unexpected financial stress. That way, you'll be ready for whatever comes your way, allowing you to focus on enjoying retirement instead of worrying about medical bills. Are you picturing a quiet retirement at home, spending your days reading books or gardening? Or are you dreaming of traveling the world, exploring new places, and picking up new hobbies? The lifestyle you envision for your retirement can have a huge impact on how much you're going to need to save. The truth is, the more adventurous and active your retirement plans, the more you'll need to save to fund that lifestyle. But even if you plan for a simpler retirement, it's still important to make sure you're prepared for any surprises that might come up. If your dream retirement includes lots of travel, dining out, or starting new activities, that can add up pretty quick. Flights, hotels, tours, and new hobbies all cost money, and the expenses can get bigger as you get older. On the other hand, if you're planning a more relaxed lifestyle, maybe living in the same home and staying close to family, your costs might be lower. But even then, you'll still need enough to cover your basic living expenses and unexpected costs like home repairs or medical bills. The key is knowing what you want and building your savings to match those plans. So how can you figure out how much to save? Start by imagining your ideal retirement day to day. What activities will fill your time? Will you be home most of the time or out exploring? From there, estimate what each of those things might cost on a monthly or even a yearly basis. Once you have a rough idea of your expenses, you can now start planning how much you'll need to save to keep up with that retirement lifestyle. Ultimately, it's about being realistic and intentional with your savings. The more specific you can be about your retirement goals, the easier it will be to determine how much you need to set aside. So whether you're saving for a peaceful retirement or an adventurous one, the most important thing is to start early and stay consistent. That way, you'll be able to enjoy the lifestyle you've dreamed of, no matter what it looks like. Now, what if everything doesn't go to plan? Life has a way of throwing us curveballs, and retirement is no exception. Whether it's an unexpected medical bill, a stock market downturn, or even a change in your retirement goals, things don't always go the way we expect them to. That's why flexibility is so important when it comes to retirement planning. If your plan is too rigid, you might find yourself in a tough spot when something unexpected comes up. One way to build flexibility into your plan is by creating a buffer in your savings. This means saving a little extra beyond your basic retirement goal so you have room to adjust if needed. For example, if the stock market takes a downturn or inflation rises faster than expected, that buffer can help you avoid having to dip into your long-term retirement funds. Having that cushion also means that you don't have to make major lifestyle changes if something goes wrong. You've already planned for the worst-case scenario. Flexibility also means staying adaptable with your retirement goals. Maybe you start with one plan in mind, but down the road you decide you want to spend more time traveling or even move to a different location. Or perhaps you need to adjust your withdrawal strategy based on changes in the market or in your health. Being open to these changes and making adjustments as needed ensures that your retirement is still on track, no matter what life throws at you. In the end, planning for retirement isn't just about setting a goal and hoping for the best. It's about being prepared for the unexpected. By building a buffer and staying flexible with your plans, you can give yourself the security to weather whatever life brings. This way, you can confidently move forward with the peace of mind that you're ready for whatever the future holds. Remember that beach scene that we imagined at the beginning? If you plan wisely and account for things like life expectancy, inflation, healthcare, and lifestyle, you can be back on that beach worry-free. Retirement planning is about creating a future where you can enjoy those waves for years to come, knowing that you're truly covered. So here's the takeaway. It's not about hitting a single number that works for everyone. It's about designing a plan that works for you. And if you're feeling unsure or overwhelmed, don't worry, you're not alone. Many people feel this way, and that's why resources, tools, and professionals exist to help. I hope this gave you some clarity and maybe some ideas for your own future. If you found this helpful, let me know in the comments below. Now, if you want to learn more about growing your wealth, then check out this video right here. But before you do that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video and that you got something out of it. I'll see you in the next one.